Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing U.S. immigration matters, and I'm specifically discussing this in the context of information generally found on the internet, immigration forums, if you will, or immigration fora, if you will, and just discussing whether or not it's always a wise idea to use the information you find in one of these forum sites in your specific case. And I want to be clear at the outset. I'm not saying forums aren't useful or fora aren't useful. They can be. Visa Journey, for example, I think there's others out there. They can be very useful for general information. But when, the practice of law it's kind of a weirdly fascinating thing. Folks who are sort of on the outside of it think it's one thing, and those who have to deal with it oftentimes truly understand it's another. At first glance, it can look like, oh, if one thing, if this recipe, if you will, works in this case, it'll work in a case similar to it. Maybe. But facts may distinguish one case from another. Moreover, and this is a real problem I see with folks using information they found on a forum online and bringing it up, on their case, is that information may have gone out of date. Especially in the Trump era of immigration, U.S. immigration, we're seeing a lot of changes with respect to the way in which cases are processed. Okay, the body of law has not shifted, but the administrative mechanism that processes these cases through, it's shifted a lot. I'm here to tell you as a practitioner, the administrative processing functions have diverged radically from what we dealt with prior to Trump coming into office. Meanwhile, certain rules have changed, or more precisely, the executive's interpretation of those rules have changed. Most notably, the public charge rule has fundamentally altered the way in which we're processing cases, specifically immigrant spouse visa cases, other types of spouse visas and fiancé visas out of the U.S. Embassy here in Thailand, cases out of the U.S. Embassy in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, cases out of the Embassy in Vientiane, Laos. And that's primarily where we deal with most of our cases. But, this is having an even broader impact. I talk to other colleagues in the Philippines and Vietnam, as well as even further out, who say, yeah, no, there's broad ramifications of different interpretations and implementations of new policies associated with law that's been in existence for 5 decades in some cases. So again, taking information from an online forum can be very useful. What I would say is it can provide you with great insight on the broad strokes of the immigration process. It can provide you with good insight sometimes as to how long a case might take to process. But when applying law to facts, or what we sometimes call making findings of facts and conclusions of laws in our legal opinions, nuances can matter. And taking a one-size-fits-all approach, even when, especially I should say in an immigration context, can be fraught with serious peril, not only from the standpoint of causing delays, but in certain extreme cases, it may cause cases to be denied, and it could cause circumstances in which a person might be found to have committed something akin to immigration fraud. So the thing to take away from this video is, if you're looking at doing immigration, if you're looking at going to the United States or getting a loved one into the United States, and you're using online resources such as a forum exclusively, and you think that that will provide the best sort of recipe or map, if you will, for getting through the process, it's not the wisest course of action oftentimes. And for this reason, I'd urge you, go ahead and contact a legal professional and try to ascertain where things stand. At the very least, get a consultation so you at least understand exactly how you need to process your case moving forward, because some folks will go into this using out-of-date or erroneous information, and it can be very detrimental to their case.